There is a man at this very moment who is trying to reach you. He has been trying longer than you realize. Not through a phone call, not through a text, not with the exact words you have been hoping to hear. He is reaching out in ways that make no sound. He is trying late at night when everything is still. He is trying within his own thoughts where no one else can listen. He is trying through every thought of you that he suppresses during the day and every emotion that returns the second the world becomes quiet. Something keeps holding him back, and the reason is not what you assume. It is not that he does not care. It is not that he moved on. What holds him back is something buried deep within him that he does not completely understand. Something from the past. Something heavy. Something that existed long before you entered his life. Take a slow breath right now and pause for a moment. Then release it gently. What you are about to hear has moved through silence and perfect timing to reach you in this exact moment. This is not random. On a deeper level, you were ready for this message, and now it has arrived. Welcome to Soul Signal. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss when the universe has something important to communicate with you. Before we continue, you need to understand something clearly. What you experienced between you and this man was not imagined. You did not invent it. The shift in his energy when you were near him, the unique connection that felt unlike anything else, that was not your mind misleading you. It was genuine, completely genuine, and it is important that you trust that. Do not allow anyone to convince you otherwise. He feels it as well. He continues to feel it even now, and that very awareness is what is creating conflict within him. He wants to come toward you. He wants to express the thoughts and emotions that have remained inside him for so long that they now feel like part of his identity. Yet every time he gets close to reaching out, something within him holds him back. A quiet inner voice tells him he is not enough, that he waited too long, that whatever he says now will never fully represent what he truly feels. And so he remains silent, and that silence weighs heavily on him. If these words resonate with you, pause for a moment. Close your eyes briefly and say, yes, not for me, not for the screen, but for yourself. Acknowledge that you are aware. Now consider what may be happening inside him, because outward appearances reveal very little. From the outside, he seems composed, he fulfills his responsibilities, he speaks when necessary, he carries himself like someone who is stable and in control. But internally, that is not the case. His thoughts feel disorganized, his emotions feel unsettled. It is as if he is standing in a dark room, trying to find direction without clarity. And each time he reaches forward, he is reminded of the absence where you once stood. He picks up his phone daily and opens your name, not to call, not to send a message, simply to look at it, to feel some connection. Seeing your name on the screen is the closest he feels to being near you. He looks at it the way someone looks at a photograph of a place they know they cannot return to. He has written messages to you, honest ones, where he allowed everything to come forward. In those drafts, he admitted the truths he has kept inside for months. But after rereading them, he deletes them all. Not because the words are incorrect, but because they never feel strong enough. He fears that whatever he sends may be met with silence, and that silence, he believes, would damage the last part of him that is still holding steady. As Carl Jung once said, what you resist does not disappear, it becomes stronger. That is his reality right now. The more he tries to push you away in his thoughts, the more deeply you remain in every part of his mind. He is in conflict with himself, and he is not winning because no one can defeat what is genuine. You may be sensing his energy at this moment, a sudden tightness in your chest that appears without warning. His image coming to mind at a time that feels too precise to be coincidence. a weight that does not feel like yours, yet rests so close that you struggle to tell where it begins. These are not random thoughts. It is his inner self reaching across the distance because his words cannot, and your inner self recognizes it. It always has. The connection between you was formed long before either of you could define it, a soul agreement. A bond established before this lifetime, and silence cannot break what was never created by human effort. What you experienced was not something imagined to ease lonely moments. It was not your mind creating a story to satisfy desire. The pull between you and this man has always been authentic, and it remains authentic now. In this present moment, even without communication, the universe continues to send signals. Perhaps you noticed his birthday appearing on a clock. Maybe certain numbers repeat in ways that feel intentional. Perhaps you entered a space and caught a familiar scent that instantly returned you to a shared memory, leaving your body still. These are not coincidences. The universe does not repeat signs without purpose. It does so to draw your awareness. If you have recently felt something difficult to explain, something that seemed to come from beyond your own thoughts, place your hand on your chest and breathe into that feeling. Your body understands what your mind is still processing. If you recognize who this message refers to, write the first letters of his name in the comments. Not the full name, just the initials. Allow the universe to hold them with you. He sits with others and feels no connection. He listens to different voices, yet they lack depth. He searches for something in every face, but it is missing. No one brings him the same sense of calm that you did. No one understood him the way you could. No one made everything else fade into the background. You were the only person who allowed him to stop acting and simply exist as himself. And he did not realize the value of that until it was no longer there. There is a moment he repeatedly returns to. It is not a major event, but a small and quiet one. It may have been the way you looked at him when no one else noticed. It could have been an evening when everything felt natural and time seemed irrelevant. Or perhaps it was something you said that lowered his defenses and made him feel secure in a way he had never experienced before. Each night, he revisits that memory. He protects it carefully, almost as if he fears losing it. Yet whenever he thinks about it, the gap between that time and the present feels greater, and the weight in his chest increases. Inside him, two voices continue to compete. One urges him to come toward you. The other insists that it is already too late. These opposing thoughts exhaust him daily, leaving him stuck in place because remaining still feels less risky than making a wrong move. However, staying still carries its own cost, and that cost is you. While his world slowly feels like it is losing structure, something different has been developing within you. It is calm and steady. You stopped waiting. Not out of anger, not through dramatic gestures, but in a quiet and mature way. You stopped checking to see whether he had reached out. You stopped searching for hidden meaning in silence. You stopped blaming yourself for something that was never your fault. You began listening to your own voice again, not the silence he left behind, but your own inner truth. And what you heard was simple: I am enough. This is enough. I do not need to be chosen to understand my value. This transformation did not happen instantly. It happened through small, consistent decisions. One night you chose rest instead of tears. One morning you looked at your reflection and felt content without needing validation. One realization made it clear that love requiring you to beg is not genuine love. You stopped minimizing yourself to make him comfortable. You stopped carrying emotional weight that did not belong to you. You stopped explaining your worth to someone who should have recognized it naturally. And you accomplished all of this without losing your kindness, without becoming cold, and without closing your heart. That balance is uncommon. It is meaningful, and every guiding force around you recognizes it. The universe acknowledges your growth. Every unseen support that has guided you continues to stand behind you, encouraging you to keep moving forward because you are aligned with the right direction. In truth, you have always been moving correctly. The strength you carry now is brighter than anything before, not because someone handed it to you, but because you discovered it within yourself during a time when everything felt uncertain. And it is important that you hear this once again. What you shared with this man was genuine. The love was genuine. The hurt was genuine. And the personal growth that came from it is genuine as well. Nothing was wasted. Every experience shaped the person you have become today. And that person is someone worth choosing and protecting. You always have been. If you have already started putting yourself first, even while part of you still feels pain, type "I am choosing me" in the comments. Say it out loud if that helps. Those words act as healing for your inner self. He senses this shift even from afar. Something that once reached toward him has become still. Something that used to wait is no longer waiting. Not out of bitterness, but from a place of peace. And that peace affects him more than your anger ever did. Your arguments he could debate. Your tears he believed would eventually fade. But your steady calm, your quiet balance, that is something he cannot challenge. It unsettles him more deeply than anything you ever expressed. He feels the connection changing, not suddenly or loudly, but gradually and quietly, like the final light fading from the sky before night begins. And he understands that once it closes fully, it may not reopen. If this message reaches the version of you who has already started moving forward, who has already begun choosing yourself despite the discomfort, place both feet firmly on the ground right now. Feel the support beneath you. Let that remind you that you are held, even when it feels like you are standing alone. There is something preventing him from reaching out, and it is important to understand that it was never about you. Not even once. Earlier in his life, something happened. Something that left a deep emotional mark he chose to ignore. Perhaps someone walked away before he was prepared. Perhaps an opportunity ended before he understood it. Perhaps he reached out and found no one there. That empty space taught him a lesson no child should learn, that love is unsafe, that vulnerability leads to pain, that the more open you are, the greater the risk. So he created a barrier, not physically, but through silence, through distance. Through unspoken feelings he chose to bury instead of express, and the universe observed and waited, aware of something he did not realize. The very wall he built for protection would one day block him from the person he was meant to meet. Then you entered his life, not by coincidence, but through alignment. You did not pressure him. You did not demand anything. You simply arrived with honesty and showed him that love does not always come with suffering. And that challenged him, because if your example was true, then many of his long-held beliefs would no longer stand. Letting go of beliefs that have supported you for years can feel destabilizing, even when releasing them is necessary for growth. So he hesitated. He offered enough to keep you nearby, but not enough to truly allow closeness. And now the distance he created has become the very thing that is breaking him down. Jung once explained that until you confront your hidden emotions, they will control your life, and you will label it as bad luck. This man has been calling it bad luck for a long time. He has been telling himself that things simply did not work out, that the timing was wrong, that perhaps some people are not meant to remain. But deep down, he knows the reality. The only barrier that ever stood between him and you was himself. Take a moment right now and close your eyes. Just 3 seconds. When you open them, understand this clearly. You did not lose him because of something you did. And he did not lose you because of who you are. He lost you because he could not move past his own limitations. And you chose yourself because your heart could no longer wait for someone who would not meet you halfway. Both truths can exist at the same time. Something is changing now. The wall inside him is beginning to crack, not because of outside pressure, but from within. The love he feels for you has been contained in a space that can no longer hold it. It presses against every excuse he created. It pushes through every fear he built. It fills every silence until there is no quiet place left to escape into. And the universe is supporting this shift. Signs have been placed along his path, unexpected reminders that bring you to his mind. A familiar melody, a certain scent, a stranger whose laughter resembles yours. The universe is no longer subtle. It is no longer waiting for him to understand on his own. He is running out of ways to avoid this. The force that once held him back is weakening. The discomfort of remaining silent has grown stronger than the fear of speaking honestly. When that internal shift happens, everything changes. Not gradually, but completely, like a barrier that holds for a long time until one small crack releases everything at once. Something is approaching. You may already sense it, a change you cannot logically explain, a warmth that appears at unexpected times. A dream where he finally says what he has never expressed while awake. A deep inner awareness that something is about to move forward. Trust that awareness. It is not imagination. It is your inner self recognizing what is already unfolding. Perhaps it will arrive as a message sent at an unusual hour, one that does not seem to make sense. It may begin with words that tremble because he does not know how to begin. It may be him standing before you without a plan or prepared speech, only honesty, the unfiltered kind. The kind that carries no polish because it has been held back for too long to emerge smoothly. But understand this clearly. Even when that moment arrives, your peace is not something you owe to anyone. You have the authority to decide what you allow into your life. You choose who is given access to the world you have created through your own effort. Your healing is not an open doorway simply because someone has finally decided to knock. If he approaches you, your body will sense it before your thoughts do. You will recognize whether his words hold sincerity or are driven only by fear. You will understand the difference between a man who fears losing you and a man who is prepared to truly love you. Those two intentions are not equal, and you are aware of that now. If something inside you feels like it is shifting as you hear this, type shifting in the comments. Mark this moment. Let it be acknowledged. You are not someone who waits to be selected. You are someone whose love was steady and genuine enough to awaken something within another person that nothing else could reach. That person is now facing a serious internal struggle, not against circumstances but within himself, against the walls he built to protect himself from vulnerability. What initiated that struggle was not his suffering. It was yours. It began when you stopped chasing him and began choosing yourself. That decision changed everything. You were not wrong to love him. You were not wrong to remain for as long as you did. You were not wrong to hope. And you were not wrong to step away when hope was the only thing still holding you there. Whether he overcomes his barriers tomorrow or months from now, your responsibility is not to pause your life. You continue forward. You continue developing. You continue becoming the person you were always meant to be. What is meant for you will never require you to diminish yourself. It will not create constant doubt. It will meet you confidently, with clarity and openness. If this message reached you exactly when you needed it, type "The universe knows" in the comments. Let that statement reflect your awareness. Something may still be holding him back, but something stronger is moving beneath the surface, and you will recognize it when it arrives, not in your thoughts, but deep within your body, in your chest, in that inner place that has always understood this connection was genuine. Share this message with someone who may be carrying this same emotional weight tonight. Like this video so the universe can deliver these words to every heart that truly needs them. Subscribe to Soul Signal and activate all notifications so the next message reaches you at the right time. Before you leave, remember one more thing. He is closer to connecting with you than ever before. What once held him back is now falling away, and the love he has kept inside will not remain hidden much longer. You can sense it now, and he feels it as well. Divine timing is still at work. What the universe has already initiated cannot be blocked by fear, and what belongs to you has already begun its movement. No matter what unfolds next, hold on to this truth: you are recognized, you are supported, and you are loved in ways that may never have been fully expressed to you. You were never wrong for feeling what you felt. What is approaching will not require you to plead. It will not diminish you. It will meet you exactly where you stand, with openness, with sincerity, and with a love that has finally realized it can no longer remain silent. Move forward with confidence. Your inner self understands the direction. He is making an effort to reach you, and everything suggests that the moment is near. Until the next message comes, know that the universe remains with you always.